The room that had just, in the span of 5 minutes, recalibrated me from a woman to be pitied into a woman to be cultivated, was now looking at my husband and beginning, very slowly, to recalibrate again.
Ki Cheng-yoon crossed the room without hurrying. He had been like this since we were 19 years old. Unhurried in a way that was never careless, only confident. The kind of man who doesn't check his own reflection when he enters a room because he genuinely isn't thinking about it. I had known him for over 30 years. We had competed for the same grade rankings, the same academic prizes, the same corner desk that neither of us had technically been assigned. I had not imagined at the time that I would end up sharing everything with him for 2 decades. He reached me. He looked at the business cards in my hand. He looked at the faces around me. At Pei Ribo, at VP Lee, at Song Shuki still standing at the edge of the crowd with that particular expression. And then he looked at me, with the faint, warm smile of a man who has been watching a film from the back of the theater and has just arrived at the part he was told not to miss. "I leave you alone for one evening," he said, quietly enough that only I could hear. "And you bring down half the city." In my defense, I said, I was minding my own business. "You always are." He kissed me on the cheek. The room watched. "Dad." Both daughters launched themselves at him simultaneously, the way they have been doing since they were small enough to actually knock him over. They are in university now, and they still do it. He absorbed the impact without blinking and kissed the tops of their heads. Lin Qiao lifted a hand from across the room in greeting. A CEO I recognized. One who had recently held a lavish celebration for his son's admission to a top university. The kind of event that makes local news, and who had earlier implied my daughters might struggle academically, stepped forward with an expression of intensifying recalculation. "Ki Cheng-yoon." He extended his hand. "I had no idea. My son is in the same program as your daughters. Practically classmates. And those twin sisters, the ones who made the national papers when they tested in at 15, that's them." "Yes," I said. The CEO's expression underwent a further rapid revision. He glanced briefly toward the area where Song Mingzhou is standing, appeared to think about something his own son had probably said to him in the car on the way over, and reached a private conclusion. "Remarkable young women," he said to Ki Cheng-yoon. "You must be very proud." "Every day," my husband said, without hesitation. I watched Pei Ruibo from a comfortable distance. He had positioned himself near his wife, and was speaking to her in a voice I couldn't hear, but the content was readable from across the room. His senior clients. The reason tonight's event had been organized, the whole point of this party, were now clustered around Ki Cheng-yoon. The partnership he had spent months negotiating had walked out the door with my deputy general manager, and the man who had just commanded the room since walking in was, it turned out, my husband. Some evenings simply don't go the way you plan. "Should we stay for dessert?" Ki Cheng-yoon asked, still smiling. "We are absolutely not staying for dessert." "You sure? Because it feels like there might be." "Cheng-yoon." He laughed, quietly, privately, just for me. Then he straightened, squared his shoulders, and said to the room with the pleasant finality of a man who has other places to be, "Thank you for a memorable evening." We left. My daughters fell in on either side of me. Lin Qiao dropped back to walk with his sisters. VP Lee exchanged professional farewells with the various executives who had been watching our corner of the room. Ki Cheng-yoon took my hand. The walk to the exit was not long. It felt longer than it was, in the way that certain exits do. Not dramatic, exactly, just waited. I did not look back at the Song family. I did not look for my biological parents, who may or may not have witnessed any of the evening's developments. I had said what needed to be said. The rest could settle on its own. Outside, the night air was clean and cool. The unremarkable car sat where Ki Cheng-yoon had parked it, patient and invisible among the vehicles that cost more than most people earn in a year. He opened the door for me. My daughters piled in. Lin Qiao folded himself into the front passenger seat and immediately began issuing opinions on the evening, which prompted Ki Yu and Ki Yu to issue counter-opinions of equal volume, which devolved within 30 seconds into all three of them conducting a deeply satisfying and surprisingly precise Post-mortem of every exchange, expression, and tactical error they had witnessed or personally participated in. Ki Cheng-yoon drove with one hand on the wheel. I looked out the window at the city going by. The lit windows, the night traffic, the ordinary life of people who didn't know, and didn't need to know what had just happened in a manor on the east side of the city. My phone lit up on my lap. I looked down at the screen. My birth mother's name. I thought about the look on her face at dusk, when she had touched my cheek with trembling hands. I thought about the look on Song Kixian's face in the moment VP Lee had said my name. I thought about the 3 lines she would probably send afterward. Measured, careful, the language of people who are not used to apologizing but have decided to try. The car moved through an intersection. The light turned green. My daughters were still talking. My husband didn't ask. I set the phone face down on my lap and kept watching the window.